Okay guys, so we just watched a short little video about Vincent van Gogh. You've probably heard about him before, but we're gonna take his art, you might have even done a project with him, but we're gonna take his art and kind of take it to the next level. And we're gonna do these really cool Van Gogh sunflowers. We're gonna put the sunflowers together with a Starry Night kind of background, okay? I found these at Hobby Lobby, and it's like a big swirly gold frame. If you've ever been into an art museum, or maybe your parents even have something in their house, or you've seen something in these big kind of frames. So these are like our big gold frame in a museum, okay? And we're gonna make our picture to go in the middle like it's our picture frame, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do this as the Starry Night. If you wanna do a sunny day, or if you wanna do something totally different, like just a blue background and green grass, that is okay. You don't have to do it exactly like Vincent van Gogh, because I would think every artist would say to you, you should be creative. So if you're inspired by them and you want to be creative like them, that's great. But if you want to try something else, that is fine too. Okay, and we have plenty of extra paper, so if you mess up, we can try again. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw my moon, and then his stars are kind of circles, right? And then around those, he had these lines. Okay, so that's step one for me, if you want to do the Starry Night. Step two was I came back and I did more lines with my blue marker. Now there's still a lot of white, but I'm going to show you how I did it. You don't have to do it the same way I did it. You can figure it out and do it on your own. So it doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but this is how I did it. And then I liked the lines, so I even did some little wavy lines kind of down here on the ground like this, okay? And then what I did, because markers are so much darker than crayons, was I took my Twistables. You have colored pencils and you have crayons. You're just kind of looking for the color that you want. You can use a crayon or a colored pencil, whatever you want. And then I came back and I colored over the marker to fill it in. And you see how the marker still shows up really nicely. Okay, let me show you the sky. So if you did a day sky, you might want to use a light blue. There's also this dark blue. It's almost a purple color actually, and that's okay. I'm gonna let it be what it's gonna be. Okay, so that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna create your background. If you don't wanna do it the way I did it, that's fine. If you try it a different way and it doesn't work out and you decide to come back to this way, that's fine. If you know, whatever you do is fine, okay? There's no real rules here, but we do need a background for our flowers, okay? So you guys make your background while I finish up mine. Okay, I did forget to say that we're gonna hot glue these papers down for you. So when you get yours done, we'll have some hot glue guns plugged in, and you're gonna need to take it to somebody to hot glue it in real quick for you. Regular glue would probably work, but we want these to be pretty permanent, okay? So not just a school project. These are gonna turn out really nice, okay? So now the next part is to start making our sunflowers. And I'm going to show you how to make sunflowers. Again, if you want to make a different kind of flower, I don't think Vincent van Gogh would be standing here telling you you have to copy exactly what he did, right? He'd be saying, yeah, be creative, you're an artist. So you can make a different kind of flower. We're not going to make you do it the way I'm doing it, but I'm going to show you how to do the sunflower really quick, and then you can take that knowledge and expand on it and make it different, okay? So what we'll do first is you're going to get 2 ounces of Model Magic. And it really does not take a lot of model magic to make your flowers. So I'm going to pull off 3 small pieces to start with. I'm going to pull off a really small piece for my centers of my flowers, kind of like a medium piece for my petals, okay? And then another kind of medium piece for my leaves and stems, okay? And if you end up needing to add more to those, that's fine. And then you'll probably have some left for when we get done with this. You can play with it and do what you want, okay? The way that we're gonna color our model magic is with our markers, okay? So let me show you with the brown what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna kind of flatten my flower center piece like this. And I'm going to color it brown with my marker. And then I'm going to fold it and kind of flatten and color and fold and kind of flatten and color and fold. Okay, and once you do that a few times and flatten, you'll be able to then kind of start kneading it, and you'll start to see the color come through. Okay, you see how now I can see some of that brown. All right, if you want it darker after you get it to this point and you're kneading it, then you can always, after you get it a little blended in, do some more coloring. We can also color it once it's on our project too. So you can come back and do another layer of color on top of it. So for example, let's say I wanted to make a sunflower, and this was my center. See what I'm saying? It's not gonna take very much. And I do a big one right here, and I kind of make a ball and smush it down, right? But I'm like, that's not dark enough. I can come back and I can color it, or I can do little like dots like this, okay? So you can add marker back on top of it, okay? So what you need is you need center of flower color, you need flower petals color, and you need flower stem and leaf color. So I'm gonna do mine all yellow, brown, and green, but you could break this into 2 pieces and do 2 different colors, okay? If you wanted different petal colors, all right? So get your stuff colored, and then we'll come back and we'll do some more instructions. Okay, so here are my 3 colors that I've got so far, and I might want to add a little bit more vibrancy to them once they're on, okay? But for now, I'm just gonna build. So I'm just gonna do 1 sunflower. On this one, I did 3. You don't have to do 3, okay? And again, you don't have to do sunflower. I'm just gonna show you how to make 1, and then maybe a second one, okay? So first I'm gonna take, for the center of my flower, whatever color you have for the centers, okay? And I'm gonna make it into a ball, and I'm gonna smush it down and make the center of my flower, okay? And then I'm gonna take these pieces of my flower color, and I'm gonna just kind of, what you can do is make it into a ball, kind of, sort of, like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then you just kind of pinch this end and roll, and it'll make it into a flower shape. You don't have to do it exactly like that, but that's kind of how I like to do it. And then I'm gonna smush it down. You need to smush these down so that they stick, okay? And as they dry, they'll stick even more. So now I'm gonna take another piece. I'm gonna make this shape. And then I'm gonna smush it down. Was the amount that I had. So you will have some left over. So if you get 1 flower done and you're like, oh my goodness, that wasn't enough, you can always color more, okay? So now I'm gonna make the stem, and that should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure you guys can all make a stem. And again, we're smushing it down a little bit so that it'll stick. Otherwise, it's not gonna stick. All right? And then we're gonna come back and do the leaves And that's just a little leaf shape like this. And this is your flower. You can do whatever you want to. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine. I do kind of like on the green how I got this marbling, because Van Gogh is known for his swirlies, and even my stem has these swirlies, okay? Now, this one is clearly not as dark as this one. And look, I have one that did come off. If you pick at them, right, they are gonna come off. And one way to remedy that is just to glue it back on with regular glue. You can just use regular glue to glue it back on, or hot glue, okay? So, it just depends. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come back on top of it, like I told you you could, and I'm gonna do just a little another layer of color. But if that was all white, this would take a long time and be harder to do. And I'm just doing this top layer so that it's a little bit more pigmented, and it'll absorb that and dry. And then what I did on mine was I came back through and I did these little orange lines like this. And you can see as it dries, they're almost like watercolor looking. They kind of blend out. So it won't look exactly like that when it dries. And then I came back with my brown and I did these little dots. And then look, there's my sunflower, okay? So you can have one sunflower or one flower, you can have two, you could put one here and one here, you could have three like I did, all right? It's up to you, and then whatever you have left, you can make something of your own, okay? And then we want a picture of you, and you should be able to take these home today. They don't need to dry really. They will dry overnight, and like I said, if you pick at them, they will come off. But if you have a piece that pops off on accident, then you can just glue it back down. Or another idea might be to just take a layer of glue and pop it around there, and that way it'll stay, okay?